Welcome everyone, I'm Mel and yes, I love Lego. So my first video was of my Diagon set that I took to Broomstix 2025 in September at the RNA Showgrounds in Brisbane. I thought I would actually break the set apart to do some more detailed videos so that you can see lots of little bits and pieces that probably didn't show up in the big video. I thought I'd start with Weasley's, as you can see right in front of you. It was my favourite build. It took probably the longest time overall because I built and rebuilt it 9 times.
9 times.
9 times.
Yep, 9 times. So I do recall off the top of my head, the first time was obviously the original build from set 75978, which I built to instructions, which is I always do. And then I started to think about how I might modify it. So I know the second build was combining 75978 with 76422, the Weasley and Outpost set, to just make it that bit bigger. I pushed it out, I think at that time, to a 32 by 32 base plate instead of the 16 by 32. So let's start looking at it in detail. So first I thought I might just do a walk around the external so you can see that the front and half of the street. I try to pack as many people in as I can, obviously, to make it look as busy as Diagon Alley is. Beside Weasley's, I mocked up a sugar plums for all your sweets needs. I did some of my own stickers because I couldn't find stickers online that were suitable for the few shops that I needed, and the same for Glover's Monday. So I didn't do an interior for the travel shop, but as you can see, I did for sugar plums. Then we get around to the back, and this is the only shop in my Diagon Alley that I fully closed off but can open, and I'll show you why shortly. And beside Weasley's, I've got Florean Fortescue's, which is again from 75978 set, but I upsized it. And then I did my own mock of Broomstix, the broom shop. While I'm at the back here, I'll show you a little thing that I do, and that is that I like to hide my light packs. So the one for Weasley's is just under that little corner of roof there, and Broomstix and Fortescue's are running off that battery pack in Fortescue's roof. So I use Light My Bricks. They're series 1, which I found really easy to use. I like the versatility of them. I do admit that I don't actually install per the instructions. I started to, but then didn't like how visible some of the wiring was, so I ended up doing my own. And of course I also found it's much easier to install as you build rather than build and then try and break parts off so that you can fit the lights in. So that's the outside. We'll go back around to the front and we'll look at some of the detail of all the customers of Diagon Alley. Okay, so I tried to put in a few little scenes within the scene. This one at the front here, you can see there's a bunch of students standing around a large explosive, which they've obviously gotten from Weasley's shop, and they're getting ready to set it off. Then I've also got, throughout the street when it's together, a few parents pushing carts full of all the purchases to start their students at Hogwarts. I've got a lot of students and other visitors going into and out of Weasley's. One thing that I liked out of the Weasley set was the Puking Pastels statue, which you can see there, but was sad that they didn't do a Bubble Boy. So there's my own version. Had to tuck him in there as well. Then of course I've got a lot of people going into and out of the ice cream parlour. Some coming out with full ice creams, some losing their ice creams onto the ground. I have the obligatory rubber duck, and I do have another one in another part of the set where Mr. Weasley's holding it out on the street. Had to do that. I've got lots of gags coming out of Weasley's. So there's a young girl with her dad, and they've got balloons that actually lift you into the air. Then I've got some of the skiving snack boxes breaking open onto the pavement, and students going into Broomstix, obviously. With my Floreans, I actually tried to bring some colour to it. I really loved the scheme from the set, but obviously wanted it to really pop as an ice cream parlour. So, you know, dug into my old Lego, particularly Friends, found some parts that could actually liven it up a little bit. So I was happy to do that. Okay, back to Weasley's. So I know that one of the Weasley rebuilds that I did was to actually change the windows, because if you've got both sets, the windows, particularly the arched windows for 75978 and the windows for 76422 are different. So having both sets, I was able to choose what I liked out of it, and I do like consistency. So I modified it a little bit to make them all the same build as much as I could. So I was really happy with the outcome. And I know that what they did was actually push the height of the building up as well. So that was definitely one of the rebuilds that I did. Back down to the front here, I forgot to mention that we've got a couple of customers coming out of Sugar Plums with some sweets, but we've also got quite a few of the Weasley products. So there's the boxing telescope. I've got those scattered throughout the crowds. I've also got the mini anglias. Got those scattered throughout the crowds, and I've got this little group of colourful hair people here. This is my own take on it. They're eating the lollipops out of the Weasley set, and it's giving them wild hairdos. So just tried to add a little bit of fun, I suppose, to the crowds. You can see that the lights I used in Weasley's, you'll see its colour changing there. So I really like that. That adds that dimension. And for Weasley's, yes, I do have the tipping hat. However, sorry for the shadow. Because of where I've placed the battery pack, it's a bit challenging to get in there to tip the hat. So I might have to go back and rework that at some point. For now, the look's there. It just doesn't quite actually do it via the lever. Okay, now I know I mentioned that I built and rebuilt this thing 9 times.
9 times.
9 times.
Yes, 9 times. But I know from memory, one of them was when I put the whole set onto Mills plates. So MILS. I love the Mills plates. Until then, moving the pieces around was really frightening. The Mills plates give it a lot more structure. But what I also did was another build, redid the Mills plates. I wanted to give more depth to the whole Mills plate. Part of that was around giving more depth to the street. You can see there that the centre of the street is lower than up near the shops. So I've done that. It's more evident, obviously, when the whole set's together. So that was one of the rebuilds. And also gave me the ability to add in these little features. So I was inspired by another build. I can't recall his name, but I'll make sure I find it and put it in the comments, who built a massive Hogwarts and did this wonderful border all the way around. And he placed minifigs in the border, and it was just amazing. I obviously didn't want to do that, but I was able to put little features in behind each shop. So behind Broomstix, we've got a broomstick. Behind the ice cream parlour, we've got ice cream type sweets. And behind Weasley's, we've got various Weasley products. So I did enjoy doing that, and I actually thought it added to it, because otherwise the edge was just boring. It was, you know, a bit featureless. So I was quite happy with that outcome. Now let's investigate inside Weasley's. Okay, so as I said, this was the only shop that I actually enclosed with the ability to open the doors. If I haven't mentioned already, that was one of the rebuilds. I do have them so that one door opens part way, one opens all of the way. I did that so that I didn't lose the visibility in Sugar Plums. But I also wanted to pack the doors. Like, Weasley's is supposed to be overflowing with products, so I thought you can't have bare walls. So I've added little cupboards and shelves, cabinets full of things. I've added extra Weasley products and just really maximise the space as much as I can. Now, apologies up front, because this is quite hard to video and get all of the detail. I will try and go slow so that the video doesn't jump too fast. I have got the 3 levels of Weasley's. I've got it just slammed full of products. So mini anglias, There's another rubber duck, fireworks, various of the stickered products that come from both sets. And I did find that there were more of the useful stickers in 76422, but I bought extra stickers from Bricklink, small plug there, from both sets so that I could really fill out the shop, and a lot of it being named products. So I've got the sticky trainers on the wall there and the guy with the black hair. If I can video this well, I've actually got him placed so that you can see him through the window when the door's closed. So you might wonder, what on earth is he doing? Open the door and see that he's stuck to the wall. I've got the Weasley twins, both in there, big smiles on their faces. Oh, it's not focusing on them, sorry. Lots of customers. I've got lots of the Love Potion, iconic parts from the movies, obviously, they get a lot of time. I've got the unicycle with Umbridge on. I've got the chattering teeth teacups. I've got an extendable ear set up there. Extra sticky trainers. I will also say I loved how Lego did the detonators. I think they're amazing. And I did them as a little bit of an Easter egg. At last count, I think I had scattered something like 36 or 37 through my whole build. Quite a few of them are in Weasley's, but there are a lot elsewhere. If I remember correctly, yep, there's one just hiding on the footpath there between the shops. So I kind of got them everywhere I could think. I've got Ginny checking out the Pygmy Puffs. You can see the colour changing lights in the background on the bottom floor. More lollipops, more stickered products. The Love Potion stand at the back there. And I will admit, during one of the rebuilds, I can't remember if I did this specifically by itself or whether it was just part of one of the general rebuilds, I modified the floor a bit so you can see that there's some raised floor there. It just gave greater visibility on everything in that back. It sort of just added, because otherwise it got a little bit lost. And I think the last thing, if I can actually get it to focus well, so right there behind the guy with the balloon is a tub of, when the colours change, you'll be able to see it's puking pastels. So, oh yeah, and of course the chattering teeth, Ron's holding a pair there. So that's the interior of Weasley's Wizard Wheezes, Mel's version. So I will, as I said, give credit in the comments for people that I took inspiration from. Please, if you see anything you like here, pass it on, you know, go for it, build your own, take the ideas, get creative. So much fun. Okay, so as we close the doors on Weasley's, we'll just have a little look-see inside Florean Fortescue's, the ice cream parlour. So again, I took the base set from 75978, but I upsized it. I really loved the colour scheme, I'll admit. But I thought it just needed a little bit more feature inside and some more space, obviously. So I added balustrades in ice creams. You know, I found someone had used this kind of style for interior stairs, and I'll admit I really liked it. I do like to have some stairs where it's, you know, pretty obvious that you're supposed to be able to change from one level to another, but the normal stairs that you generally see take up so much space. So this was a really nice compromise. It didn't take up too much space, fit in with the colour scheme, and I thought worked really well. So everyone's getting their munchies. Yeah, really happy. And again, I hid the battery pack in the roof. Then we go over to my own version of Broomstix. Got a little bit cheeky here. So the shop owner casting a bit of a nasty spell. You know, a couple of students trying out brooms, going a bit wayward. Many to choose from. And I just found it a nice little addition to fill out the base plate. So Weasley's and Sugar Plums are on a 48 by 48 base plate, obviously milled up. And then Florean's and Broomstix together are on a 32 by 32. And then my roads, So I was a little bit cheeky with the roads because I wanted 16 stud width, but obviously wanted the length because when the whole thing's together, it's almost 3 meters, I think. You can see my beautiful coloured Mills plate base there. Didn't want to waste the bricks that I needed to build. And you don't see that when the whole thing is pieced together. But I was a bit cheeky, and the base plates are actually 48 by 48s that I have sliced into 3 strips. Some people might really not like that, but I had to make it work. So I have those pieces that just slot in between. So what you can see that would butt up against these coloured bricks here would be the other side of the street and the shop frontages. So that's it. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. Hopefully it was worth it. Thanks for watching.